Let me explain that mechanism. Then we will go to the next preparation methods. The students who were absent yesterday, or the students who didn't understand that mechanism. So once again here I am explaining that mechanism. So see clearly that mechanism. Then after we will go to the remaining preparation methods today. So see clearly I am writing the equation. First of all, alkane. Alkane is reacting with X2 in presence of what? Sunlight. Then what we get here? Haloalkane plus HX, hydrogen halide. So this is the reaction taking place actually. Now let us see its mechanism part. Let us see its mechanism part. In this mechanism, 3 steps will be there. So what is the first one? See clearly. First of all, X2 I will take. So in presence of sunlight, what happen? Homolytic fission. That means this bond will break homolytically. Then after what happen? When the bond breaks homolytically, see clearly, free radicals are formed. X free radicals are formed. So since free radicals are forming in the starting step, this step is called as the chain initiation step. This step is said to be chain initiation step. So free radicals are initiators. Therefore, this mechanism is called as the free radical mechanism. See clearly, this mechanism is called as the free radical substitution mechanism. I hope you are able to understand the things clearly now. Free radical substitution mechanism. And that is the first step of the mechanism. Which one? Chain initiation step. Now, in second step, what happened? Let me take the alkane. So, this alkane, what happened? It will combine with the X dot. So, this alkane attacks on the H. As a result, we will get here HX plus R dot. What is this R dot? R dot is called alkyl radical. HX is formed and R dot is called as what? Alkyl radical here. Okay. Now, the alkyl radical which is formed here, that combine with one more molecule of X2 and forms what here? RX plus X dot. So the X dot which is formed here, that X dot again I can use here, you see clearly. Therefore, these 2 steps are called as the chain propagation steps. Chain propagation steps. So please copy the mechanism. First step is chain initiation. Second step is chain propagation. So I hope you understood the mechanism, I think, and you copied the mechanism also. Still one more step left over here. Now let us go to the next step, next slide here. Okay. So now next slide here I am writing, you see clearly, the R dot which I got in the previous step combines with X dot, and what we get here, RX we will get, which is called haloalkane, and this is the product that we want. But some unwanted products also will form here. What are the unwanted products? X dot may combine with one more X dot, forms what? X2. Similarly, R dot may combine with one more R dot and forms what? RR, which is alkane. But remember, these 2 products we don't want here. We want only this product here. So unwanted products should be terminated, and hence this step is called as the termination step. This step is called as the termination step. I hope you understood my point here. So in this mechanism, 3 parts will be there. First one, chain initiation. Second one, chain propagation. And third one, chain termination. So please copy the mechanism quickly. And then after, yesterday I explained the reactivity selectivity principle also. Even we did a numerical also on that one. Okay, I hope you understood this one. So now let me go to the next preparation method. Next preparation method. What is that one? Next preparation method is from alkenes. Next preparation method is from alkenes. So from alkenes, how we will get the haloalkane? So here, let me take one simplest alkene, CH2, double bonded CH2, when treated with HX. So the alkene which I took is symmetrical. Therefore, add H to one carbon, X to one more carbon, break a pi bond. Then what you will get here? CH3, CH2, X. That is the haloethane. The product formed is here haloethane. Hope it is clear to everyone. Haloethane is the product formed in this reaction. This is the symmetrical alkene. Now here, if I take one example, see clearly, CH2, double bonded CH2, when treated with HBr, then what is the product formed here? CH3, CH2, Br. So what is the name of this product here? The name of this product is what? Bromoethane. Name of this product is bromoethane. Hope it is clear to everyone. But this is the symmetrical alkene. So now you may ask me a question, sir, if we take unsymmetrical alkene, then how to do that one? Okay, so can I change the slide then? I hope you copied this one. Please copy it quickly.
Yes, sir, they are copied.
Yes. Now
Sir,
let me change the.
they are asking.
Yes,
So 1 minute. They are asking the answers for yesterday's homework.
That I will solve at the end. I will take one food
Yeah,
and I will
yeah.
send
You
it.
can do it at the end of the session. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Now, next you see, if we take the unsymmetrical alkene, see clearly everyone know, CH3, CH, double bonded CH2, propene. So propene when added to HCl or HBr. So when the alkene is unsymmetrical, then remember we have to follow one rule called as the Markovnikov's rule. Markovnikov's rule. I think in your 11th class you might have studied Markovnikov's rule. According to Markovnikov's rule, negative part. So Br minus is our negative part here. Negative part is added to that double bonded carbon having less number of hydrogens. Negative part is added to that double bonded carbon having less number of hydrogens according to Markovnikov's rule. Then what is the product formed here? CH3, CHBr, CH3. So what is the name of this one? 2-bromopropane. See clearly, it is 2-bromopropane. Hope you are able to understand. Remember everyone, when we are following Markovnikov rule, in Markovnikov rule, the intermediate is what you know, carbocation. And whenever carbocation is the intermediate, remember everyone, rearrangement takes place. Whenever carbocation is the intermediate, rearrangement means what? I told in the last class, hydride shift or methyl shift or ring expansion. All these are all called rearrangements. Why the rearrangement happen? To stabilize the carbocation. I think you remember, I told you one principle. If the carbocation is more stable, then the yield of the product will be very good. So please copy it quickly. So whenever the alkene is unsymmetrical, follow Markovnikov's rule. And in Markovnikov, as I mentioned here, carbocation is the intermediate. Whenever carbocation is intermediate, there is a possibility of rearrangement.
The students asking to explain once again that Markovnikov rule, sir.
Yes, sir. I will explain here once again. See clearly. According to Markovnikov rule, negative part, that is Br minus will be added to that double bonded carbon having less number of hydrogens. You see, this double bonded carbon is having one hydrogen. This double bonded carbon is having two hydrogens. So where less number is there, here only. Therefore, according to Markovnikov rule, negative part is added to that double bonded carbon having less number of hydrogens. You see, bromine is added to this carbon only. Hope it is clear to you. And we are going to do some 1-2 examples on this rearrangement also now. On this rearrangement, we are going to take some 1-2 examples. Please copy quickly. So hope you copied this one. Now, let us do 1-2 questions on the rearrangement here. Now, see clearly here I am writing one alkene CH3, CH, CH3, CH, double bonded CH2. So this when treated with HBr, what is the product form? Write the question and try to solve this one. I will give some time here. Try to solve this question. Okay, so I think most of you got the answer, but anyway, here I am giving the solution. See clearly, HBr first of all ionizes to give what? H plus and Br minus. Now here, let me take the alkene CH3, CH, CH3, CH, double bonded CH2. First of all, electrophile H plus will initiate the reaction. Then what happened? Pi bond polarizes towards H plus. Pi bond polarizes towards H plus. Then see clearly CH3, CH, CH3. Then this carbon get the positive charge and the last carbon will be added to hydrogen. So here the carbocation which I got is secondary carbocation. It is bonded to two other carbons. Now here you see, let us see the alpha hydrogens. Here 3 are there, you see clearly, whereas here 1 is there. So how many alpha hydrogens are there here? 4. Hope it is clear to everyone. 4. So now I want to do the hydride shift here. I want to do the hydride shift. So this hydrogen I want to shift from here to here. So when you do the hydride shift, what happened then? See clearly, CH3, C plus, CH3, CH2, CH3 you will get. So the carbocation which I got is, I will write here somewhat neatly so that you can understand clearly. Please wait for some time. So here I am taking this one mechanism, you see clearly here, everyone. So first of all, mechanism, once again I am mentioning clearly, CH3, CH, CH3, CH, double bonded CH2, clear. So first of all, pi bond will be polarized towards H plus. Then we will get this one, CH3, CH, CH3. Then here, this carbon will get the positive charge, and finally hydrogen will be bonded here. So this is the secondary carbocation. As I mentioned already, here you see 3 plus 1. 4 alpha hydrogens are there in this one, according to hyperconjugation. So now I want to increase the stability. How? By doing the hydride shift. By doing the hydride shift. So hydride is shifted. When you do the hydride shift, then what happens? You see clearly here. Then what happens? You see here. CH3, C plus, CH3, CH2, CH3. So here now the carbocation which is formed is tertiary. And how many alpha hydrogens are there? You see here 3, whereas here 2. So total 8 are there alpha hydrogens. See clearly. So previously 4 were there, you see. Now 8. So as the number of alpha hydrogens increases, stability of carbocation also increases. So the carbocation which is formed after doing hydride shift is the more stable carbocation. Now our nucleophile Br minus attacks on this carbocation, then the final product will be this one, CH3, C, CH3, Br, CH2, CH3. So what is its IUPAC name? 2-bromo, 2-methyl butane. I hope you understood the hydride shift here. So please copy quickly mechanism.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
student asking that why we are not using Markovnik's rule over here.
That's what I'm telling here. Markovnikov rule we can use, but in that one, what is the intermediate carbocation? So whenever carbocation is the intermediate, there is a possibility of rearrangement also. So we are doing the rearrangement to stabilize the carbocation. If any student is having still any doubt, please get back to me. I will answer your questions.
Yes, sir. And one student is asking the IUPAC name of this thing.
Okay, IUPAC name of the final product is 2-bromo, 2-methyl butane. 2-bromo, 2-methyl butane. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Right. Come on. Here, this is the preparation of haloalkanes from alkenes. Clear, everyone? Right. Now, let us go to the next preparation method of haloalkanes. This is also one of the very important preparation method. This is called halogen exchange reaction. Halogen exchange reaction. Put the heading in your notes, everyone. Halogen exchange reaction. Okay. So here what happened? See clearly in halogen exchange reaction, CH3, CH2, Cl, chloroethane. So chloroethane when treated with sodium iodide in presence of a solvent called acetone. Acetone is a non-polar solvent. Okay. Then you see here the name itself indicating that halogen exchange. Here the halogen is chlorine. Here the halogen is iodine. So exchange them. Then what is the product formed here? Product formed is CH3, CH2I, iodoethane plus NaCl. Iodoethane plus NaCl. Please copy. In this one, some important points are there. I will discuss that points here. Clear, everyone? Now, here you may ask me a question, sir, in the products also iodine and chlorine are there. So why can't they exchange again? Why reaction is not moving in the backward direction? That is also one important question. Remember everyone, reaction cannot move in the backward direction here. Reaction cannot move in the backward direction. What is the reason for that one? Reason is that sodium iodide is there, it is a covalent compound. Sodium iodide is a covalent compound. And you know, covalent compounds are soluble in non-polar solvents like acetone. So sodium iodide being a covalent compound, it is soluble in the non-polar solvent like acetone, and hence reaction will move in the forward direction. But NaCl, I think you know well, NaCl is an ionic compound. So ionic compounds are insoluble in non-polar solvents like acetone. Therefore, backward reaction do not happen because NaCl is not soluble in acetone. And moreover, you know, NaCl is a precipitate. So precipitation reactions are irreversible reactions. They will not move in the backward direction. So the reaction will move only in the forward direction only. And remember, one important thing is that this reaction is called as what you know? This reaction is called as Finkelstein's reaction, where Finkelstein is the scientist who studied about this one. So this reaction is said to be Finkelstein's reaction. Very important one. And in your 12th class board examinations, many times this question came. So please note down, everyone. And I hope you understood why reaction is not going in the backward direction also.
Sir, students asking to repeat once again, sir.
Yes, let me repeat this reaction once again. This is the chloroethane reacting with sodium iodide in presence of acetone. So the name itself indicating halogen exchange, then exchange chlorine with iodine. So what you will get here? Iodoethane plus NaCl. Okay, and this reaction do not come in the backward side. Why? The reason is that sodium iodide is a covalent compound. Covalent compounds are soluble in non-polar solvents like acetone. So this is soluble in this one. Therefore, reaction will move in the forward direction. But you know, this NaCl is there, it is ionic compound. Ionic compounds are not soluble in non-polar solvents. You read in chemical bonding, I think so. Ionic compounds are soluble only in polar solvents like water. But here the solvent I took is acetone. So ionic compounds are not soluble in acetone. Therefore, backward reaction do not happen here. Backward reaction not possible. Moreover, NaCl is a precipitate. So precipitate reactions are what here? Precipitate reactions are irreversible reactions. They move only in one direction, and such a reaction is called as the Finkelstein's reaction. So hope it is clear to everyone. Now, let us take here one more important preparation method. One more important preparation method of haloalkanes. See clearly, I am writing here. This reaction is called as what you know? Schwarz reaction. This reaction is called as the Schwarz reaction. Remember, Schwarz reaction is exclusively used to prepare fluoroalkanes only. Exclusively used for fluoroalkanes. See, till now we didn't prepare fluoroalkane anytime. So, Schwarz reaction is used to prepare exclusively fluoroalkane. So here, let me write the reaction. See clearly. CH3, CH2, Cl, chloroethane. So chloroethane, when treated with NaF, sodium fluoride, in presence of a solvent called DMF. What is DMF? Dimethyl formamide. Once again, I'm repeating, DMF is dimethyl formamide. It is also non-polar solvent only. So here also again halogen exchange. So when you do the halogen exchange, then what happened here? CH3, CH2, F. Fluoroethane is formed and sodium chloride is formed. You see clearly, fluoroethane and sodium chloride is formed. And here one important point to be discussed is that, see clearly, fluorides, next, chlorides, next, bromides, fluorides, chlorides and bromides. Only these three are soluble in DMF, dimethyl formamide. Iodides are not soluble here. Why? A reason is there. That reason we are going to study in the chemical properties. So fluorides, chlorides and bromides are soluble in DMF, dimethyl formamide. And remember, here we got fluoroethane, see clearly, nothing but fluoroalkane. As I mentioned already, this method is used to prepare fluoroalkanes only. So please copy it.
There are students asking why iodide.
That's what, sir. In the next class, we are going to study chemical properties. There, the thing will be clear.
Okay, and asking that what full form of DMF.
Here I am writing what is the full form of DMF. Okay, so here I am writing, see clearly, full form of DMF is dimethyl formamide. Dimethyl formamide. It is a non-polar solvent. And why iodides are not soluble, that we are going to study in chemical properties. I hope you copied. Yes, sir. Tell me. Hello. I hope you copied this Schwarz reaction. Right. Now let me move to the next one. Okay.
Sir,
Tell me.
One student asked why no backward reaction takes place here.
That's what, sir. That for that only we have to study chemical property. In the next session, that I will be explaining why reaction cannot move in the backward direction. Okay. Come on. Now let us study next preparation method, and this is also one of the important preparation method of haloalkane. So here I am writing, see clearly, Hans-Dickers reaction. Very important reaction, this one, Hans-Dickers reaction. Hans-Dickers reaction. Okay. Now see clearly, Hans-Dickers reaction, RCOOH, carboxylic acid. So remember everyone, in Hans-Dickers reaction, two reagents are used. What are the two? You know, first one is the moist Ag2O. Okay. Next, second one is the bromine in presence of a non-polar solvent like CCl4, followed by heating. This symbol, I think you know, it is used to represent the heating. So here two reagents are used. One is the moist Ag2O, second one bromine in presence of CCl4 followed by heating. Then here the product formed is what, you know, the product formed is RBr, bromoalkane. Bromoalkane, along with that here CO2 is formed here. Bromoalkane and CO2. So please copy the reaction. Then we will see its mechanism part. Okay, right. Here, did you notice one important thing here? In this starting reactant, you see, how many carbons are there? 2 carbons. How? This is 1 carbon. I think you know R is nothing but what? Alkyl group. It is also a carbon only, na? So how many carbons are there? 2 carbons are there. And in this bromoalkane, how many carbons are there? Only 1 carbon. So this reaction is used to descend the series. Very important point to be noted here, that this reaction is used to descend the series, descending the series. And remember, 1 carbon less bromoalkane is formed in the Huns-Vickers reaction. Always 1 carbon less bromoalkane is formed in Huns-Vickers reaction.
Sir, students
Clear,
asking
everyone?
that, one student is asking that we can use non-polar solvents.
Yes, any non-polar solvent like CCl4.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So now we are going to see its mechanism part now in the next slide. Okay. Now mechanism. See clearly. Let me explain the mechanism here. Now in mechanism, try to understand here. First of all, let me take here carboxylic acid, RC double bonded OOH. Now what is our first reagent? Moist Ag2O. Moist Ag2O, nothing but Ag2O along with water. So Ag2O when treated with water, what we will get here? AgOH, silver hydroxide. Moist Ag2O, nothing but silver hydroxide only. And I think you know this is starting one is this is what? Acid. This is what? Base. Acid plus base gives what? Salt plus water. Neutralization reaction. Then here what you will get here? RC double bonded OAG. This is the silver salt plus water is formed. You see, silver salt plus water is formed. Hope the first step is clear to you. Please copy. Acid reacting with base, then we will get salt and water. Right? Now let me take our next reagent, bromine. Okay. Now what happened here? One silver will combine with bromine like this. One silver will combine with bromine, forms AgBr. AgBr, silver bromide, is a yellow colored precipitate. Then here once you see what is the other product formed here, then RC double bonded O. R. Hello. Vishnu sir. Hello. Hello. Vishnu sir. So did you copy the mechanism up to here? RC double bonded OOBr plus AgBr is formed. Remember, AgBr is a yellow colored precipitate. So precipitate reactions are irreversible, as I mentioned already. Now what happened? See clearly, between oxygen and bromine a bond is there, you see. This bond is very weak. Why? Oxygen is very small atom, bromine is very big atom. So between a small and very big atom, the bond will be weak. So
hello. hello.
கண்ணில் கட்டியா
Funny guys.
கண்டனா இடையில
அப்புறம் பயாலஜி கிளாஸ்ல
கேவி உனக்கு நல்லா கிடைக்குது நிரஞ்சன் கிட்ட கேவலமா இருக்கு
Sir. Sir. In the middle, many sounds are coming, sir. I think even Vishnu also not responded.
Sure. Now sound is coming?
Not now, sir.
Okay, maybe because of the time up.
No, up to 11:15, sir.
Okay. Hello? Okay. Fine, you carry on, I will sort it out.
Okay, sir. Hello? So I hope you understood the. Hello?
Yes, sir.
What happened, sir?
I
Any
think
problem?
it came out and I don't know, sir. It came out of the meeting and came back. I think it's renewed. So
Okay.
that's what the
No
problem.
No problem.
No issue, sir. Now it's no issue. You can start.
Shall I continue?
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yeah.
Here you see between oxygen and bromine the bond is very weak. So this bond will break homolytically like this. This bond will break homolytically. When the bond is broken homolytically, then I think you know free radicals are formed. So RC double bonded O dot is formed. Am I right? Then after Br dot is formed. RC double bonded O dot and Br dot is formed. So please copy the mechanism, everyone. Hope it is clear to everyone. And mechanism is not completed till now. Okay, I will move to the next slide. Now, see clearly the next, I mean, in the next part of the mechanism, RC double bonded O dot, which is formed. Okay, now this is the RDS step of the mechanism, which is the slow step, rate determining step. So here, once you see clearly now, see this is carbon, this is also carbon. Both have same electronegativity. When electronegativity is same, then the bond between them will break homolytically. Remember, the bond between them will break homolytically. Then what happened here? R dot you will get. Along with that, see clearly this is CO2. Carbon dioxide gas will be released out. Clear? R dot and CO2 will be released out. I hope you understand my point here. The R dot which is formed here, that will combine with bromine. Okay, that is the reason why in this reaction bromine should be taken in excess. If bromine is not taken in excess, this step will not happen here. The step which I'm going to write here, that will not happen. So that is the reason why in Hans-Dicker reaction, bromine should be taken in excess. Then here what happened? RBr is formed plus Br dot, bromine dot is formed here. So in Hans-Dicker reaction, bromine should be taken in excess. Please be clear about this point. If bromine is not taken in excess, then what happened? The R dot which is formed will combine with one more R dot and forms what? Alkane. But here we don't want alkane. What we want? We want bromoalkane, but we don't want alkane here. Therefore, bromine should be taken in excess in Hans-Dicker reaction. Please take care. I hope you copied the mechanism of Hans-Dicker. And in this one more important point. Remember everyone, see, if what I want to say, see here, let me mention, if R is a tertiary, then what happen? The major product will be ester. If R is a tertiary, haloalkane will not be formed. Ester will be formed when R is tertiary. Okay, this is one important point to be noted in the Hans-Dicker reaction. If R is a tertiary, then ester formation takes place. Okay, how? In the next slide I will be showing you. The next slide. So see clearly, R C double bonded O, O dot. This combines with R dot. Then what happened here? R C double bonded O, O R. I think you know. This is called as what? Ester. So if this R is a tertiary, then we get ester as the major product. So one important point to be noted here is that order of yield, order of yield of RBR, bromoalkane. Which bromoalkane is formed very easily? Primary, greater than secondary, greater than tertiary. Primary is formed very easily, than secondary, than tertiary. If you take tertiary, just now I told you, if you take tertiary, then what happen? Ester will be formed. So if you want bromoalkane, then you preferable are what? Primary and secondary only preferable. So please copy the mechanism. Did you copy the mechanism? We are going to do some 1-2 questions also on this Hans-Dicker reaction. Now, in the next slide here, I am taking some 1-2 examples also on this Hans-Dicker reaction. So, see clearly, first one, CH3COOH. When treated with, again, same 2 reagents, that is the moist Ag2O, and second one is excess bromine by CCl4 followed by heating. So please copy the question and try to answer it. What is the product formed in this reaction? What is the product formed in the reaction? So what is the answer for this one? The answer is CH3Br, bromomethane. How? Now you see how many carbons are there? 2. Okay. Then how many carbons are there? 1. As I told you, 1 carbon less bromoalkane is formed in Hans-Dicker reaction. So you will get here bromomethane. Clear everyone? Now let me go for next one more example here. One more example. So here I am taking CH314. Actually carbon weight is 12, but here I took 14. It is the isotope of carbon. Atoms have same element having same atomic number but different mass number are called as isotopes. So CH3, then here CH2, CH2, COOH. Okay. So again using the same reagents, moist Ag2O, and second one is bromine in presence of CCl4. So now you tell me what is the product formed in this reaction? what is the product formed in this reaction? So as I told you that one carbon less bromoalkane is formed. You see how many carbons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then here one carbon less bromoalkane is formed here. This is the answer. So here you see 3 carbons are there and here you see 4 carbons are there. Therefore, one carbon less bromoalkane is formed in the reaction. I hope you understood this one. How to solve the questions in Hans-Dicker reaction. Clear? Now, next one. So here, once you see, next one is reaction. Next preparation method, reaction of alcohol with PCl3, phosphorus trichloride. Reaction of alcohol with PCl3. Okay, now see clearly here. So 3 moles of alcohol when treated with PCl3, phosphorus trichloride, then here you will get 3 moles of RCl, chloroalkane. Along with that, the product formed is H3PO3. So you know H3PO3 is called as what? Phosphorus acid. H3PO3 is said to be phosphorus acid. Write the equation, and mechanism is not required for this reaction. Okay, now one important point is that here H3PO3 structure, once you see clearly, this is the H3PO3 structure. H3PO3. Now you see here hydrogen is bonded to more electronegative oxygen. Even here also you see hydrogen is bonded to more electronegative oxygen. So due to more electronegativity, oxygen will withdraw electrons from hydrogen. Then hydrogen comes out in the form of H plus. Similarly, here also hydrogen comes out in the form of H plus. But this hydrogen cannot come out in the form of H plus. Why? Because it is not bonded to more electronegative oxygen. So how many H plus ions are released out? You see, this is one, this is one. That is the reason why phosphorus acid is a dibasic acid. Phosphorus acid is a dibasic acid. Dibasic, that means it is giving 2 H plus ions. Therefore, it is said to be dibasic acid. So please copy the diagram of H3PO3 also. I hope you copied the H3PO3 structure. And remember, as I mentioned here, it is the dibasic acid because it is giving only 2 H plus ions. Followed? Right. Now, still 2 preparation methods are there that also we will complete now. So next one is the reaction of alcohol with PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride. So I am writing that reaction in this way: alcohol reacting with PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride. Okay, so here please try to understand how I am writing the products. See clearly, first product is what? RCl, chloroalkane, plus second product is what? HCl. Okay, then the other product is what? POCl3, phosphorus oxychloride, you see. So please copy it clearly, everyone. Finished, everyone? Hello, Vishnu sir.
Yes, sir.
So let me complete this session. Time is up.
Yes, sir. Sir, you can just show those slides alone so that
Okay.
students can just
Okay, here I am
that,
showing the
thing,
slides.
sir.
So the next slide you see clearly here. Then after the next slide, this one from alkenes. Okay. Then after the next slide, where I explain Markovnikov rule. Then after this one, here I explain the rearrangement. Let me move to the next slide then. This one, halogen exchange reaction, also called Finkelstein's reaction. Then after, Schwarz reaction, exclusively used for fluoroalkanes. Okay. Then after, Hans-Dicker reaction, descending the series. Then after, mechanism of Hans-Dicker reaction. And you see here, mechanism. Then after, order of yield of bromoalkanes in Hans-Dicker. Then some 1-2 questions on Hans-Dicker. Clear? Next, reaction of alcohol with PCl3. And here I explain phosphorus acid structure. Please be clear. Then finally, reaction with PCl5.
Sir, students were asking about the yesterday's homework answers, sir.
That now time is up, no sir. They will be on the line.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
shall I
yeah.
explain? Shall I explain in tomorrow's class?
Yeah.
I will write and I will post it in the tomorrow's class because time is up now.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay. So students, practice these equations clearly, and in tomorrow session we'll be meeting. Okay. Thank you one and all.